Fellas, I've been playing fighting games for a long time. Smash specifically for a while, but I played Guilty Gear. I played Street Fighter. I got a Street Fighter 2 cab right there. That's the first cab I ever played on, this little tiny baby right there. I've been playing fight games for a very long time. I'm kind of fond of them. I like them. I like being able to go up against my opponent and hopefully establish a rapport. You sort of get a feeling with fighting games that you don't get with a lot of people. But other people aren't quite as fond of them for one reason or another. You know, some people, that's just not really their bag. And with that in mind, I came across something the other day. Our good friend Mika put out a tweet thread on fighting games, and boy did it make the rounds. Whenever I find something like this, I try to find the truth in it. I try to look at it and I say, okay, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't want to throw away the whole message, because sometimes, you know, maybe one or two things are wrong, not the whole thing. So, our goal, right? Our goal today here is to find out how truthful all of these tweets are. So, with that in mind, I'd like to introduce the Truth Meter. The Truth Meter will help us to determine whether a tweet, each individual tweet, is true or false. The first tweet, we'll start with the first one, right? It has to be said, fighting games are categorically bad. I'll be honest, that's a little true. That's a little true. Not, I would say, like, that's 25% true. Because a lot of fighting games are not good, right? A lot of fighting games don't do anything different or interesting. It's a little true. Street Fighter has been struggling for a while, you know, and it hasn't been adopted by the diehards. Some of them are still wanting to play Street Fighter 4. I think a lot of people have come into this issue with fighting games and realizing that they haven't done much to iterate in past years. So, are they categorically bad? Maybe a little true. They're so fucking unenjoyable. They are all pure brain poison that punishes you for missing an arbitrary 50-button combo and has the single worst character movement of any video game genre. Every movement button either completely changes your moves or gets misread. I don't know what that means. I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know what it means that buttons change your moves or get misread. Single worst movement of any genre. How do you compare that? Like fighting games against racing games and she has Joy-Con drift? Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how you can make this thing, like, your moves just aren't working? Get a different controller. That's not true, but that doesn't mean that none of this is true. Imagine making a non-platformer game where jumping side to side is the most precise way to get around. And God help you if you want to attack and move. That's a little weird. That's a little weird, but that's a little true. You know, it is you can't punch and move at the same time. That would be kind of cool if you could do that in a fighting game, you know? Without jumping, they even said without jumping side to side is the most precise way. You don't understand. They're saying regardless of jumping. I kind of get it. Because, like, in UFC, you see people walking and punching all the time. Or walking and kicking at each other. So, I kind of get that, and maybe this would be a good point for developers to try. Maybe we should be able to move and fight at the same time. That's kind of cool. Like ARMS, exactly. ARMS changes the game, yet again. Perfect, yeah. 0 people are actually capable of this kind of perfect input required to do anything outside of button mashing while relying on visual cues. Let me read that again. 0 people are capable of the kind of perfect input required to do anything outside of button mashing. Not even one person? There are 6 billion people on the planet, 7 billion by now, by this second. At least one of them can do this. One person can do anything. Well, I guess you need 2 people because it's a fighting game. Yeah. You either spend hours non-stop practicing perfect inputs to get the timings right, or are button mashing in all but name. You know what? The first sentence is cringe. The second sentence, that's half true. That's half true. You do be grinding button inputs. That's kind of crazy. The fact that you have to practice stuff and learn the timings and, you know, unless it's dial a combo like Mortal Kombat where you put in all your buttons and then 30 minutes later your pizza shows up and the combo starts hitting, that's different. So I kind of dig this second sentence. That's the whole reason I don't really like regular fighting games, is because, like, I don't want to learn 10 moves on 20 characters each. Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous. No, I think the first part is silly. I don't even understand what they're saying. She's going crazy on this one. Second part, I get it. Yeah. No one is actually good at fighting games. They've just learned the order of buttons they should hit, or whatever one character they've locked themselves into in the game, and hit it over and over as fast as possible and claim victory or defeat. Then that's good. That means they're good at it. You're silly for this one, Mika. Nobody's actually good at pool. They're just good at knocking the balls into the pockets. This one, Mika, apply yourself, okay? I don't know about that one. And that's probably the worst aspect design-wise. It is unfathomable to me that an entire genre of game exists where the selling point is the amount and diversity of playable characters, but playing any more than one of them at any point reduces your gameplay to spray and pray. You know what? That's kind of true. For the majority of players, that's kind of true. That's 75% true. It's nuts that there are 90 characters in these fucking fighting games, right? But to be good, you play 3 tops, and with more characters means more and more characters just get redundant, you know? Why do X when you could do Y with another character that's basically the same but better? Tweak with like a word? That's the whole point. Tweak had to switch characters. There's a giant number of characters, but you remember when Tweak played Bowser Jr.? He was the best in the world with that character and was amazing, and he could beat top players. Could he win tournaments? No. Not his fault. Character sucks. I'll give it up 75% on this one. Compare that to racing games, which also have the prime selling point of the amount and diversity of usable vehicles, but the skills associated with each one viably translate to any other vehicle build. Spending time with a certain build obviously makes you better with it. Okay. Car skills translate from car to car. And you're saying character skills don't translate from character to character? I don't think this one's true. Because you can learn things with certain characters that you can't learn with others. Obviously, characters with, like, command grabs, like Zangief or Hugo, sort of teach you when it's appropriate to catch somebody blocking, right? And you can apply that knowledge to other characters. I don't understand the idea that playing certain characters don't teach you anything with anyone else. Min Min teaches you not to think. Exactly. Min Min is great for teaching you autopilot. It's actually true. It's an important skill to have a very good autopilot in Super Smash Bros. Or in fighting games in general, in competitive fighting games. Because if your autopilot can beat people's, like, 100%, you can make it further in a tournament. You don't have to use your endurance or your mental energy. That's not a joke, seriously. One of the biggest parts of being good at a fighting game means that you could just beat people without thinking. And this is a genre-wide problem. Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Smash Bros. Fighting games either have diversity among characters and suffer gameplay-wise, or are incentivized to make all the characters play similarly. For example, Alien from the Alien movie, a game franchise, could be the absolute coolest character in any fighting game, but instead of Mortal Kombat, it's just a humanoid bipedal fighter with a tail. You know what? Spitting on that one. The fact that fighters have to conform to a certain, like, archetype in the game, you know? It sort of sucks that, like, because you're stuck to the confines of this plane that you're in, this 2D plane where the characters can't, like, Alien can't, like, climb on a ceiling. You know what I mean? Alien can't do anything super interesting. The coolest thing a Street Fighter or a Mortal Kombat character might do is, like, teleport behind you. I feel like there's not much interesting stuff. Go in the ground? Yeah, but that's, like, people hate that mechanic. You know what I mean? It's difficult to find a mechanic that would make them distinct and unique without people hating it. It kind of sucks that characters have to be sort of slotted into the thing that your game is doing. You know what I mean? But that's sort of... I don't know how you get away from that, but it is true. It does kind of suck. They had to make it play similarly to other characters for gameplay to be viable, which sacrifices all the coolest potentials of adding a literal xenomorph to the game, while making its moveset as dull or arbitrary as any other, but with cool graphics. Yeah, Yeah, I don't know in this specific instance how, like, how dull this moveset is. I'm not talking about Alien specifically. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're adding a character and you want them to not be a joke, not like a meme, you need to give them certain things. In Mortal Kombat, I can tell you, when I first played Mortal Kombat 11, Johnny Cage was a joke character. Johnny Cage had, like, no crushing blows. His crushing blows were, like, super situational, and then one of them was, like, you had to throw your glasses off at the person at the beginning of the round and hit them, which is impossible. It was funny, but it was impossible. He was, like, a joke character. Now he's better. But then you have a character like Jackie Briggs, who's the best character in the game, who gets crushing blows by accident. Like, just by playing the game. She functions and she gets the hits. So, if you give the Xenomorph shitty crushing blows, or, like, don't give them good overheads, don't give them the tools needed to succeed, like, if Alien has really shitty anti-airs, they will not function. You could just jump in over and over. So because of that, you need to find ways to sort of slot them into this like Lego set of a character. It's like, okay, well, they need this, they need that, they need this. It's so fucking frustrating that there's no way to make a fighting game with diverse characters without having the act of playing any character over your main completely compromise gameplay. Fighting games are just categorically unfixable in terms of game design and balance. This person is not particularly good at fighting games, I think. I hear what she's saying in that, like, if you're not playing your main character, then you're crippling yourself or handicapping yourself. That's not true, though, and that's demonstrably not true. So, you know, I understand the sentiment, and I think to a certain level it sort of is true, but yeah, I think it's only 25% true, roughly. But the movement in fighting games, holy shit, it's so fucking bad. Trying to control where your character is in a fighting game is like throwing your shit at an industrial-sized fan while getting hit by the back blast of an RPG while hanging upside down. I don't think that's true. I think those things are probably much more limiting in your movement. The best I've ever seen is either Dragon Ball's flying or Soul Calibur's 3D dodging. Any genre with the highest quality games or Dragon Ball and Soul Calibur doesn't deserve the embarrassment of existing. True! True. Well, half true. Half true. The first, hold on. The second sentence is true. The second sentence is true. If Dragon Ball and Soul Calibur is the best you could do, perhaps you shouldn't exist. But the first part is probably not true. First part is not true. There are better methods of movement, like fucking Tekken. Everybody loves Tekken. You know, Tekken is like the poster child. That's literally. So, but it's half true because you're right about the second part. Yeah. It's a little weird. I'm gonna go ahead and just reach in there and see if I can. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Smash is an inconsistent mess of characters from different universes with zero attempt at game balance that it requires hundreds of hours of practice per character to get. Hundreds of hours of practice per character? Okay, I'll give you a core. Inconsistent mess of characters from different universes, yes. No question. No question. Zero attempt at game balance, they try. It's okay. It's not too balanced. That requires hundreds of hours per practice per character to get any enjoyment. Come on. That's a little... That part's what tanked it. I was sort of with you until that point. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, if you actually know the down B for every Smash character, I hope you see a therapist for your own sake, for the sake of the 9-year-olds who these games are made. True! 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 That's true. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't remember any characters down Bs. No. I'm a commentator for the game, and I'm a healthy person, so when I see somebody do it, I have the fucking book next to me. Hold on. This is me commentating Evo. I'm like... oh, there's Ike with his, counter. But if you do know this stuff, I would suggest, you know, maybe try a different hobby. There are too many characters. Does anybody know every character's down B? Does anybody know that? That seems very hard. Counter times 90. You know what? That's 75% true. That's kind of true. That's kind of true. That's kind of true. 75% counters. Yeah. I'll give it up on that. I'll give it up on that. If improving skill at fighting enemies in a video game is the enjoyment someone is looking for, Dark Souls or even Batman, Arkham Knight, or any Spider-Man game is less rage-enduring and requires way less time and... Come on. That's not true. That's not the same. If you had Bam Ham Combat... You know, there was a fighting game with Bam Ham Combat. There was a fighting game with Bam Ham Combat. It came out a few years ago. You might have heard of it. It's called For Honor. It didn't last very long. But in For Honor, you just wait, and then you counter. And you wait, and then you counter. Bam Ham Combat is Batman Arkham Asylum Combat. The reason we call it Bam Ham is because of this image. Bam! A ham. Yum. Bam Ham Combat. It's basically where you just mash the square button, and then when somebody tries to hit you, you hit the circle button. That's it. It's fun, but you can't fight real people with that. Yoshi is a Bam Ham character? No. Yoshi is just Bam. There's no ham. Yoshi doesn't have a counter. Little Mac is? Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. I think it's Little Mac. Because if you... because the ham is when somebody tries to hit you, you use the super armor and forward smash. Yoshi is a Dynasty Warriors character. That is an excellent comparison. Yeah. Yoshi is you're just slicing through. Yeah. But no, this is not the same. I'm obviously just raging out over the ones and zeros I don't like at this point, but I'm actually mind blown that anyone would spend their time in shitty fighting simulators where they could be playing with a game with more control over the fights and other content. Like, even fucking Watch Dogs is more fun to me, and those games are ass, but at least when I press a button, I know what it does, and it does it consistently and predictably. Why does that not... That happens in fighting games. Buttons don't change moves. Could you imagine if, like, Mika is like, playing against a character that, as a special move, reverses your inputs? Like Mika plays against a friend that constantly reverses inputs, and Mika's like, oh, I'm pressing right! But she's going left? Did somebody prank her? Little sister treatment? Oh, you think somebody's giving Mika the wrong controller? Like, so I'm just playing, right? I'm Mika's brother, and Mika's like, can I play? Right? I'm Mika's brother, and I'm playing. Mika's like, can I play? And I'm like, sure. Here you go. Here you go. Play with this. Oh, that's funny. That's good. Yeah, I don't know where this comes from. This one is not true. This one is not true. I cannot imagine coming home and thinking, oh, I know what sounds like fun, trying to win a competition based on my ability to reproduce a 50-button sequence completely from Muscle Man. True! True! That's true! That's so true! Well, no, it's kind of true. That's not 100% true. I'll give it up for most of that. I do enjoy getting those fucking inputs. Getting those inputs is kind of fun. Falco? Yeah, this is a Falco thing. Like, I know it sounds fun. Up tilt, up air, up air, up air, forward air. 90%. This is a Falco thing to do. Musicians fuck off. Oh, that's true. This is kind of a musician thing. Yeah. And for fuck's sake, playing against a sweat lord who's put in 1,000 hours into one of these fighting games but hasn't ever played more than 2 of the 50 characters is objectively worse than Human Fortune. True! 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 Holy shit! Okay, she is spinning on that one. Ho! Do you remember when I said we shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater and everybody's quote tweeting this thread and saying, oh, this person is cringe? This is what the thread is for. True! Oh my god, you ever play somebody and you know that they've never gone out of their house to play the game? They've only played the game hooked up to their internet in their home. And that's the game they know. They've never seen another human being playing the game, so when they play online, they think you're a bot. They don't even treat you like a human being, so they just play you like you're just a computer. You know? That's crazy. That's big true. No, that one's big true. That one's absolutely true. It's not fun. It's not fun. Because these people will play their fucking hearts out for 1,000 GSP. You always just end up in either a grab throw spiral or bouncing up and down like a pinata without any control of your character. How's that fun? Even for the Sweatlord Cheeto Man doing the juggling, how is that fun? Kind of true. Because it is kind of fun to not let people play the game. That's kind of fun sometimes. I'll shake on that, you know? I laugh whenever I see Tekken and somebody's juggling somebody with jabs and you're just punching them in the shin and the body's just bouncing up and down. That's funny. Funny to watch. You know, I get what you're saying, but some people enjoy that. When I regain control of my emotions, I'm going to look over this thread again and try to psychoanalyze and synthesize the reasons I hate fighting games into a coherent message. Might even write a Medium article. You know what? I think it's a little true that you'll go through the thread and psychoanalyze. I don't think it's true you're going to write an article. Because I think this was a flight of passion. And I think that you're not going to write an article. That's not true. But I think she will look at the thread and wonder, what the fuck was I thinking? Whether that's like, I went crazy, or like, why did I think this was okay to put on the internet? Because people will go nuts. Last post in this thread is a genuine plea. Can someone tell me one reason to play a fighting game over a racing game or Call of Duty Zombies or any two-player platform or co-op RPG? Masterful engagement on this. That's 100% influencing. Excellent work here. I love the engagement bait. Give me one reason to play a fighting game, everyone I've just pissed off. Well done. That's content. Look at the how many replies did that get? Bro. Content. Holy fuck. Call to action. That's a CTA, just like this. Subscribe to the channel. You've watched this whole video. I forgot to do it all this time. Subscribe to me right now on YouTube. You've watched the whole video and I forgot to do it. This person is a better influencer than I am. By a fucking mile. God damn it. I wish that I kept like a meter of how true these things were. Honestly, this was kind of true though. Some things were questionable, but you know, I was sort of close. Sucks at fighting games. I didn't, I'm just seeing that now. You know what, though? At least, that's good closure. Never mind, nothing was true. Being bad at a fighting game doesn't mean none of that is true. True to me? Okay, you know what? You know what? Sucks at fighting it. I'll give it up 100 on that one. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's definitely true. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's find out if I'm normal or not. Can I name every down B? Let's see. Tornado. Wait, Mario Tornado?